grab the northern lights. Baby, you just kick your feet up while I kick back. I roll one with you by my side.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Bold, Black, and Addicted to Bravo, because I am bold, Black, and addicted to Bravo. And I have a fellow Bravo addict with me today, Stephanie from Mocha Minutes. Stephanie, do you want to introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about you?
Sure. Good morning. Good morning, team. I'm Stephanie. I'm host of the Mocha Minutes Podcast, and I am so excited. Mocha Minutes Podcast is my podcast. It's a weekly podcast. Right now I'm on hiatus. Hello, grief. But it's a weekly topical podcast where I talk about everything and sometimes including Bravo. So excited to be here.
Thank you. I'm happy you joined us. Sometimes I miss the clubhouse days. It was like really hot for a while. Yeah. And then it completely died. But Stephanie was like a clubhouse. Like if I saw Stephanie in a room, I was like, I'm going in that room.
I'm still in clubhouse, but I'm not there that often. It's like, and you're not the first person I heard that say it's dying or it's like people not doing it anymore. And I'm like, I have kind of noticed that it's like, yeah. You know, people have started like, girl, I don't have time to be on my phone for a little while. I was like, maybe it's just if you're still teleworking, it's like, oh yeah, it could be a thing.
Yeah, I think it's like changed because people are back in the office. So it's like, what do they want to do with their commute time versus like when you were at home?
Right.
Like,
I'm
just home, I'm just gonna put it on.
Yeah.
Well, at least we still have Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram to keep us together. All right. So before we begin, we are going to play a little bit of Black Card Revoked. Just a couple questions. Hopefully they're not repeats for ones that you've had before. I need to get a new deck.
I need to get a new deck too. It's 3 that I want to get. I think there's one like, isn't it one for like sitcoms or something?
Yeah, there's different extension packs.
Yeah. Because I know it's like one is like, oh, I want to get a couple of them, but I know they got new decks out. I'm like, I kind of want this.
All right. First one. Which TV mom is not to be trifled with? And this is a majority rules. And there's 2 of us, so guess whichever we decide. Tasha Mack from The Game, Cookie Lyon from Empire, Nikki Parker from The Parkers, Mama D from Love and Hip Hop. And can I just say I love that there's a reality person in there? Like
it really is. It's like
give the reality TV people their due. Yes.
Oh my gosh. So I think I will have to. Who was the first person you said?
Tasha Mack from The Game, or Cookie Lyon from Empire, Nikki Parker from The Parkers, or Mama D from Love and Hip Hop?
See, I would have to go with Tasha Mack.
Okay. I was going to go Cookie Lyon. Only because, you know, they've got the money and the power.
Yeah. That's still a good one, though. It's like
Tasha's influential, too, though.
Yeah. I was thinking, like, when you said a mother, because Cookie was like, don't trifle with me, period.
Yes.
Don't mess with me, period. It's like, oh, you know what? You're right. I ain't gonna hold you. You're right.
What did Mama say you need in order to get some McDonald's? A job, a clue, good grades, McDonald's money.
McDonald's money.
That's so universal.
I love how everybody know that. It's like, I want to go to McDonald's. You got McDonald's money?
Yep. Well, today is September 4th. I don't know when this is airing, but we're recording it on September 4th, which is a very big day because it's somebody's birthday. So
it's not my birthday, y'all. So you're like, who's it? Like, it's not Stephanie. My birthday's in August.
No, it's not that. What heritage does Beyonce proudly claim? Beyonce, the birthday queen. Dominican, Creole, Haitian, or she's got Indian in her family?
She's most definitely Creole.
Yes, she is. Happy birthday, Virgo Diva.
Happy birthday. It's B-Day. 948.
That's what I listen to between recordings. Beyonce.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say her name because then I'm going to like literally, since we finished recording, I'm going to go turn on Renaissance. I'm like, look here, I'm trying to wean myself off. Okay. And now I'm like, I'll to drop it like a fatty. Drop it like a fatty.
That's a good one. Church Girls, yes.
I love that album.
Who was Steve Urkel's go-to alter ego? That's an easy one. Stan, Scotty, Stefan, Sean.
Stefan
was fine.
Can I just tell you, it still makes me crack up that literally the only difference between Steve Urkel and Stefan is that he took his glasses off. I was like, why?
Well, no, I mean, he took his
Also, it's
glasses
like
off
and
like
dressed too.
stood up, like he dressed better. It really does go to show like how much those things can impact how you are perceived and how you carry yourself. Because when he takes off his glasses, he's also no longer scrunched over. He suddenly has all that confidence and swag, and that's what makes him attractive. Because he could put the glasses on as Stefan, and he would still be Stefan. You know, it's that swag.
It was so interesting. I was like,
yeah. Yeah, I always find alter egos that are like barely hidden so funny. Like, oh, they put on glasses. I have no clue who that is.
Kind of like Superman and Clark
Kent. They're so
different.
It
was like, Lois, like for real? Like everybody else, random people on the street.
Okay, but
Lois.
Right.
You see both of these people all the time. Girl. Okay.
Yeah, agreed.
All right.
All right. So today our topic is Liar Pants on Fire, and we are discussing some bold-faced lies that have been called out in the Bravo world and how the fans have sort of dealt with them. One thing the first ones I want to start with are Erika and Jen. And the reason I'm putting them together is because they're both involved in fraud cases. Erika's situation is that her husband took millions of dollars from settlement claims of people who had accidents and things like that. It's pretty awful. But she's alleging that she didn't know where the money came from. But she definitely got money off of the money where it came from. And there have been some lawsuits against her personally, stating that she absolutely knew where some of the funds were coming from. And then the other was Jen Shaw, who has now pled guilty after screaming at everybody, mind you, that she was innocent. She's now pled guilty to fraud cases where she was doing fraud on senior citizens to get their money, to get them to sign up for telemarketing stuff. I guess technically, since she had her mom, didn't she have her mom like clear out her bank account or go?
Her mom offered up her house as collateral.
Her house, right? Collateral for her for jail when she knew full well she was guilty. So, so I find A, the situation of both of them interesting, but B, also the fandom, how like people are so scorched the earth about Erika, but like, oh, well, we can't wait till Jen gets out of jail. I'm like, wait, what? Like Jen is the one who actually did the bad, and why are we giving her more grace than Erika? What are your thoughts?
See, back in the heyday of Clubhouse, when all this stuff started coming out about Jen Shaw, and you watched how people talked about Erika, I said, watch. Y'all not going to keep this. I was like, y'all not going to keep the same energy. And let me be very clear. I don't want some Asian woman getting like more shit than a white woman. That is not what I'm saying. But I find it very, very interesting that like they're getting a little bit more grace with Jen Shaw than they are with Erika. Now, mind you, both of these ladies are like, yeah, I'm good on both of them, because I was good on Erika because I was giving her grace because it was like, well, maybe she actually didn't know. And I'm like, that's the thing.
Right. That's my thing. If anyone deserves grace,
I was like, maybe she just didn't know. But I think what didn't help her is Erika's walking around like she was the victim. And I'm like, girl, I need you to look at the optics of what you're doing. So it was kind of like, but then when it came to Jen and they're like, oh, let's just see what happens. I'm like, is it because that she came into this franchise wearing a Biden dress? Is that why we're doing this? It's like, oh, her husband's Black. Is that why we're doing this? Because I'm like, no, she's directly involved. And no one's like, oh no, they need to throw the book at her. They're like, they're not doing that. But not for nothing, they didn't do that for Teresa either.
True. But see, I feel like Erika should be treated more like a Teresa than a Jen. Like, to me,
correct.
Jen was running her operations allegedly, even though she's, I guess in the preview says that she's trying to stay with all Stewart.
Yeah, she nails like in the I saw that trailer and I went, oh wait, this is Stewart's fault?
Says the person who's a control freak, who is on top of everything.
Everything.
Like, you want to tell me that you're a control freak in everything, but this thing you're like, yeah. Whatever.
No, this is really Stewart. He got me into this. I'm like, your assistant told you what, you're one of 15 assistants. Girl, shut up.
Exactly.
And
even if he brought the idea, it would still be
but you still had to do it. Because even with Teresa,
Yeah.
It was like she signed some papers and that's why she got in trouble. So to a certain extent, she is involved.
She
Erica
is. But I can
not.
understand
She just
with
benefited. Yeah. It's like,
I can understand with Teresa that she just blindly signed. Like that
correct.
I can fully believe and understand.
Correct. I'm like, she don't seem like she like, let me read all this and understand. Oh no, Joe told me to sign this, so I just signed whatever Joe told me to. So it's kind of like you gave her the benefit of the doubt. It's like nobody was like, oh my God, Teresa, how could you do this? Because one, it was just their personal taxes. They didn't take any money from anybody.
Right.
Erika and Jen did. Erika, you benefited like allegedly. See? Watch this. Allegedly, you benefited from money that your husband or ex-husband, I don't know where y'all in the process, defrauded from orphans and widows. That is what the issue is. So it's not a criminal case. I'm like, girl, it's not. It's like, you need to look at the optics of that. And you saying like, y'all don't know. And I'm like, of course there's a lot of stress. No one's saying that it's not traumatic for you to deal with the fact that not only am I divorcing my husband, and then you try to do it on election day. Girl, shut up. You're on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And it's Miss Girardi. And then all this stuff comes out like, oh yeah, by the way, he stole. And now they're looking at you like, is that the reason why you divorced him? But you don't give people a clear reason why you divorced them. Like, oh, it's because of this. I'm like, girl, you lying.
People would have believed you if you had been like, I found this out. I was appalled. And I divorced them. People would have been like, we got you. Like, we get it. We totally understand. But like, it was so shady the way. And I think that's why she doesn't get any graces, because like, we couldn't pinpoint why they were getting the divorce. She tried to make herself seem like a victim when they were like real victims. And the thing is, I can actually believe that she didn't know, because Tom doesn't really strike me as the type who's going to want to tell you his business.
Come home and he don't seem like he do pillow talk with her, especially
He's
about
not
work.
Be like, oh, here's what I did. He's going to be like, shut up and take the money. Like, the money comes in, it's my money. I make it how I make it. So I could fully believe that she didn't know. But once you find out, how you react to it is how people are judging you. And the way she reacted to it was like she wanted to be a victim, but then she didn't want to be a victim. Like, she wanted to be a victim as in like, hey, this is my life that is now being turned upside down. And I didn't know this stuff happened. But then she didn't want to be a victim because she wanted to be like all tough and all hard. But you can't be both. I personally think she should have leaned in more to the victim, but in like a way of like, I can't believe this happened to these horrible people. Like, I feel a level of shame that I benefited from this.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many different ways she could have went.
She could have went so different.
She went like, whatever, I don't care. I'm going to post whatever. Like, girl, it would not have killed you to humble your social media for like a year.
And just literally would have cost you nothing to not post.
Or post nice things. Like, you didn't need to post out. She's like, the show must go on. I have bills to pay. Like, you could have muted yourself for a little while, ate some humble pie, and then come back, and people would have still been way more on your side. Like, she alienated people.
She really did. And the other part of it that made me just go, I'm kind of good on her, is how Lisa Vanderpump has not been on the show for like 2 or 3 years. And I literally remember Lucy Apple Juicy. And I remember her stance on it too. When it was like, oh, I think Lisa linked this. She wasn't saying, let's give Vanderpump benefit of the doubt. And all of a sudden she want benefit of the doubt.
Right. Yeah.
Like, really?
It's like, what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
You ain't want it with Denise either. It's like, the thing about it is, Erika, I can see if you are fair across the board and you were one of the voices like, you know, let Denise, I'm like, if this, what Denise did is fine. Maybe Vanderpump was not involved. Erika, that's not what you did. So it's like, now you're like, oh my God, and I'm a victim too. There is no victim too when you're dealing with orphans and widows and burn victims.
Yeah.
This ain't about you.
I think it's interesting too, because I would say Erika and Jen are two of the flashiest housewives. And I think that what has happened to them in some ways just sort of like reinforced what a lot of people think about people with a lot of money, which is that you got it through ill gains. And
she in Utah.
Yeah.
And Jen Shah's no unicorn, because a lot of scammers, because now it's kind of like, Whitney, you might want to be quiet before they start coming after your husband.
Hopefully not. Yeah. And I mean, there's a bunch, but it's unfortunate because I think on some level people get a little bit of glee out of it, because it's like when you're busting your butt and you see other people who are allegedly busting their butt and they're making so much more money or doing better off, you're like, well, what is it? Like, what is it about me? Like, what am I missing? Like, oh, that's not fair. But then when you hear that they've been frauding it, you're like, aha, I knew it.
I knew it. It couldn't be on the up and up. She couldn't get like that all that money from like legal means. Like,
right. I mean, you could kind of believe it with Erika's husband because he's a lawyer. You're like, okay, lawyer in Hollywood.
It's Tom Girardi.
Right. And it's kind of like Heather Dubois' husband, you know, like he's a doctor. So you believe that they make that crazy amount of money. But Jen was always like, wait, what? And then she could never quite explain it. It was very interesting. So
yeah, because I mean, she like the remember the first reunion, they were trying to like, how did you get all your money? And it was weird because Heather knew how she got them. Like she could understand it. So essentially you're talking about like, I was like, that don't sound legal the way you're putting it. And it sounds super weird, but also why do it seem like she not the only person who do that?
I'm sure she's not.
Right.
But yeah, so it was just interesting to me how both how they dealt with their situation and how the fandom reacted to their situation.
Yeah. Because it's like Erika was lying. I'm sorry, not Erika. Jen was lying through her veneers the whole time.
But like people are still all about Jen. And like I don't understand it. And this is something that I don't understand with a lot of things with the fandom. Like I can have a favorite and acknowledge when that favorite is a problem. Like Beverly Hills has been very hard for me this year because you know me, I've been Team Kyle forever. But there's not a lot of redemption with Kyle this year.
I forgot you're Team Doogie. I forgot.
I can't even talk about her because I don't have anything to defend her. Let me tell you something.
Right, I saw that last episode. I know we're not talking about liars, but let me explain. Let me tell you something. Sutton better than me, because I swear I'd have went scorched earth with Diana. I literally think I would have put hands on that woman. It's like, you have lost your damn mind. I'm like, go ahead and watch, because I heard it because I watched it the next day. They're like, "Oh, this episode." I'm like, "What's she doing?" And I was like, I am so angry right now. It's like, I know Sutton is problematic because she can be problematic. Everybody on that show can be problematic.
Everyone is, and they all gang up. That's the thing I don't like about Beverly
Hills. And it's like, your girl Kyle, she
cruising
cruising down that street for Bruising Boulevard, because it was like, you keep starting this shit, and now we're going to see the uptick of what the fuck happened in Aspen, and why is Lisa Rinna coming after one of your sisters again?
Yeah.
Kathy stopped talking to your ass when you did this shit with Kim.
Yeah. So
I'm like, come on, Doogie, don't do this. It's like, rough. Tell Rinna to shut the hell up and stop excusing her behavior because she lost her mom. As someone who lost their dad, that does not give me like carte blanche to attack other people because I am mad and sad. That is just gross. And the fact that y'all trying to excuse that is very interesting, because y'all damn sure didn't let Lisa Vanderpump do that.
That's the part. Yeah, definitely.
It's like, y'all like, oh my, people die every day. That was just your brother. That's no excuse. So why y'all excusing Erika? Why y'all excusing Rinna? Rinna dead ass wrong.
Yeah.
Dead ass.
It's a mess. And when I think about the fandom, it's just amazing to me how sometimes people can be like, oh, I'm a fan, so I'm going to defend everything they say. It's like, you can be a fan and still say they're wrong. Like, first of all, they're people. They're all going to have wrong times.
There's
all
no
the
perfect
people
person
that I'm
on Bravo. It's like everybody can have your. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was like, you can have your faves, because it's like, let me just tell you, I'm in the Dixon district over at Potomac. I'm like, but please believe, Robin Dixon is still a person. And it's like, no, well, she shouldn't have had it like that. I'm a candy cane. I get it. It's like, oh, I get it. Okay, I totally get it, where you're like, you like this person? I'm like, I'm about to be like in the jury for Tamra Judge. I don't know what her fans are called when she come back. So it's kind of like, I get it. There's a lot of people like, why do you like this person? I'm like, I'm sorry. If y'all, I was like, not for nothing, Dallas would still be on the air if y'all had not kicked off Leanne Locken.
Well, I mean, I think it's okay to have problematic phase, because we watch.
But you got to recognize they're problematic.
But you have to recognize that they're problematic. And I can't stand the people who are like, nope, they're not. Like I was saying, like, I'm Team Kyle, but I can recognize she's a problem. I mean, this year it's been hard to be Team Kyle. I've just been quiet. I've been like that Homer in the bushes.
You're like, let me just wait. You Grandpa Simpson, like you walk in the door and walk back out with your hat, like, girl, let me
Well,
get on
because
out of
normally
here.
I can still like defend her. Normally I can be like, she's not right in this situation, but I can see. But this one, I'm like, I've got nothing to say in defense of this horrible behavior.
Because it's like,
and I
last I
refuse
talked
to
about it,
defend
I was
her.
like, yeah, let's talk about it. Why are you unfollowing people? I'm sorry, aren't you half like all over 50? Except for Crystal.
Right.
You talking about a follow on Instagram, girl?
Though, you know, we do have to acknowledge that does matter nowadays. Like that is a point.
It's true.
Like, unfortunately, as silly as it sounds, saying it out loud, it is a thing.
Yeah. So it was funny, but it was kind of like, if they're like, no, we're not gonna talk about it, Kyle, stop poking. Like, why y'all not talking about it? I don't think Erika cares because she don't like her. And I love that Garcelle said, we don't have to be friends. And she's like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm serious. You don't get to talk cash shit about my kid. You don't get to talk to my kid like you crazy and think I'm going to want to see your fucking story. I do not.
Yeah. I like that they, and Garcelle is more of the mind of this, kind of like the ATL girls. Like they don't pretend like they're best friends. No. They'll flat out call each other coworkers. But it's true though, right? Like if you're only hanging out when you're filming, you're not really.
You are a coworker.
Coworkers. And who was it? Not Phaedra. Why am I drawing a blank? Portia was really good about stuff. Like people would be like, "Oh well, this and this." She's like, "Well, those are my coworkers, so."
Girl.
And that's the truth. But anyway, so speaking of liar, pants on fire, and ATL, Phaedra, the Phaedra lie with Candy. Now I have to tell you that lie deeply affected me because I was team Phaedra. Like Phaedra was my girl.
Oh boy.
I know, me and my problematic phase. But like I just loved her. I found her whole lie about the baby hilarious. Like when she was due, it was cracked me up. I used to love walking around going, everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
How many jobs.
Yes. Well, see, the thing is, I respected her worth ethic. Like that will always get me. Yeah. I respected that. And then I also she just cracked me up even when she was being over the top, because there was a level of like, she knew she was being over the top. And so like, if you can acknowledge you're crazy, then I'm really on board. Like if we can both acknowledge that you're being obnoxious, then yes, own it. But I still have lines. And for me, lying about sexual assault is a huge, like it's not just for TV, like that's such a moral line. And that's such a large impact on somebody's life. A, on the person who now thinks that they're a victim because they think that they've been sexually assaulted. And then B, on the person who's allegedly done the sexual assaulting. Like that is a huge label to have put on you, like life altering. And so for me, that lie was too far gone for me to still support Phaedra in any way. Though watching her on Ultimate Girls Trip, I was like, I missed her. But I still don't think she should come back because that lie was too far gone.
Girl. So here's the thing. I also liked Phaedra on the show. I enjoyed her little Southern church lady shade that she would throw. The thing about it is when she was like, didn't want to tell everybody that she literally was like carrying this baby full term because she didn't want nobody to know that she got pregnant before they got married. It was like, girl, you're married now. It don't matter. But that lie was just very, very interesting because the way that it played out on a season. Because I was like, why would Portia believe this lie about Candy? Why would she believe it? So then when Portia said, well, Phaedra's the one who told me, it was like, I was like, that's why she believed it.
That's why she believed it.
Because you are Candy's friend. So why? And then she was like, Phaedra, you told me that Candy said it. And it was kind of like, now she's like, well, somebody else, allegedly, if Carlos King was the one who told her.
Allegedly, it was Carlos King, which blows my mind.
And it was like, and he's saying that he didn't tell her. And it's like, at this point, at this juncture, it doesn't really matter. Well, it matters if Carlos does it, but not in this sense, mostly because did he tell you to say it on camera? No, baby. Portia, who has literally kept saying stuff on camera about people, she is coming up to everybody's relationship on that show, or every woman saying, I heard. So this was not something far gone for her, but the only one that seemed to have like some legs was this one because Phaedra was Candy's friend. And it was like, one, that is some shitty ass shit. I'm sorry. That is just messed up that you would do this to your friend. And I still remember Dave Quinn saying, I'm sorry, either it's Dave Quinn or it was Andy that said, if the women don't want to film with you, you have no story. And I think after that, none of them, and most notably Candy, wanted to film with them. Portia was demoted the season after. So it was kind of like, she ain't got no dog in this fight.
Yeah. I still love me some Portia though.
Yeah.
Portia's my girl.
Listen, yeah, y'all love peach juice. I used to love peach juice, but then she kept talking too much. And I was like, now, sis, I'm gonna need you to stop. Because I don't know how I started going to the Team Twirl meetings. I don't know how I got here.
I started on Team Twirl when she read Ramonia at the girls' trip. Then I was like, all right, I can accept her. I'm still not full on, but I do find her more enjoyable. They have a nice
charcuterie board. They have nice snacks at the meetings, so that's why I keep going
there. But yeah, no, I think the thing with the Phaedra thing, because why would you record with somebody? Because on some level, you always expect that there's going to be some people who want to play it up for the cameras, but like there's still a line. And when you're with someone or talking to someone who you know does not have that boundaries and who you know is willing to cross that line, like you're putting yourself in danger. And I would not sign myself up to record with someone who I knew does not have that line.
Especially because of how you said it. And then Candy's proximity to Tiny. And I'm like, girl, there's a lot going on, because I remember people calling her Pills Cosby. I'm like, that is not okay. And there's still people who make them jokes, and I'm like, that is not okay. Especially when you know Candy don't mess with drugs. She don't really drink. And it was like she really don't even drink alcohol. So drugs is another thing. And it was like, one, you sat there and said nothing. And the bad part about it is, Phaedra, you'd have let Portia die right on. You would let her drift on that closet door by herself. You were not going to say anything. And the only reason why we know is because Portia's the one who told me. And I'm like, Phaedra, that's not okay.
It's not. And the thing that gets me too is at the time, she was such good friends with Candy.
Correct.
It's like, even if you heard that rumor,
why didn't you go to Candy first?
First of all, you should have went to Candy.
It's like, girl, there's a rumor about you about this. She your friend. Why you not? You mad because she can your friend? You mad because Candy is still cool with Apollo because Todd is still cool with Apollo? So that means, Phaedra, you should be mad at Cynthia too, because Peter was cool with Apollo.
Yep.
He wasn't the only one that he's like, hide this. And it was like, you do realize the FBI watches y'all show. It's like, nobody snitched on you on that cast. They flat out said, we heard y'all say it, so that's why we knocked on your door. It's like Peter said that himself. He was like, they said they watched the show. Like, yeah, they do.
Yep.
And it's like, Phaedra, why would you do something like, and for her to say like, how I got fired was bullshit. I'm like, you're not the first person to allege a rumor about any other castmate. You're the one who is literally involving a crime.
Right.
This is a crime. It's not, I'm cheating on my husband. That's not a crime. You drugging and sexually assaulting people is a crime.
And so that's why, like, the audience reaction to me is surprising as well, because there are people who are like, it's okay, let's forgive her, let's bring her back. I'm like,
because they don't like Candy.
Not understand the magnitude of what, like, that's the
y'all dislike Candy that much.
Or they dislike, which I don't know what there is to dislike about Candy. I love Candy. I feel like Candy gets so much crap, but like, oh, she doesn't bring it. Candy has always brought it. Candy has always told everything about her life. Candy has, when you tussle with her, she will get down and she will argue with you.
She will get in the mud with you. She will mud wrestle with you. Just because she doesn't go
out of her way to be overly dramatic and out of her way to fight doesn't mean she doesn't bring it. We don't have to bring it the same way.
Because she's a chaotic neutral. But that's how she's been since she's been on here. Like, everybody can't be like chaotic, period. She's a chaotic neutral. So she's neutral when she want to be. Because that whole thing with when they're trying to talk about Ross being aggressive, I'm like, and she's like, I don't think he was. I distinctly remember when they went on that trip, and that lady that is going to be on the that was Bob Whitfield's friend, her nephew, literally was like drunk and aggressive with Kenya and got put out. They like most notably Sheree and Portia, they were trying to act like he wasn't all that aggressive. The other women, like, they weren't there. So I think Cynthia wasn't there, and then Kim Fields wasn't there. And Candy went, now why y'all trying to act like that he wasn't being aggressive with her? I'm like, y'all only not like giving her benefit out because y'all don't like Kenya. And it was like, she right? It's like, if this was somebody else, y'all have been like, no, he should have been left. I'm like, yeah, no, I didn't really like Kenya at that point either, but I'm like, y'all not gonna act like you didn't know if that man was gonna put his hands on her, because he got a little too close, he's a little too high, he's a little too drunk.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is a lot of people aren't good at separating their personal feelings for someone with a situation.
Right.
Where they can be like, oh, I'm, kind of like what we were just talking about, where they can say, I'm a fan, but she did something wrong. Like, it's hard for people to do that. And it's same in the other route. It's hard for them to be like, oh, well, I'm only saying that that's okay because I don't like that person. But if it was someone I liked, because
people need to be more honest with that. It's like, I'm like, any other time I would hate this, but because it's her, it's like, no, fuck her. And it's like, wait a minute, hold up. No, it can't be like, let's do fair. Because, okay, so sidebar, that whole clip of Drew flicking her hair in Sanya's face, when I tell you, I'm sitting here like, I know y'all not going to sit here and excuse this. I'm like, I know y'all not going to sit here and excuse this. Y'all tried to talk me down. You put your fingers in somebody's face. Those are fighting words. This woman flicked her hair in this woman's face. She has put her hands in Sheree's face. She threw a dog bone at some random ass chick. And y'all going to sit here and defend.
Walks around with a dog. I can't with Drew.
Without any dogs. I'm like, you went to the dog.
Like, you went to the store just to buy a prop
to get
just
bones?
for this moment.
And it's like, ma'am, she is antagonistic. And the thing about it is like, here's the thing. If Sanya had literally just grabbed her bundles and pulled her back, y'all have said that Sanya was completely out of line. But y'all didn't say that about Monique. It's like, you didn't say she was completely out of line.
They did.
Like, well, it was like, oh no, because she got what she wanted because she put her hands in her face. I'm like, but didn't she flip? See, I'm all about like, don't invade somebody's face. Also, Bravo, why the fuck did y'all put her next to Drew? Why would you put Drew and Sanya attached? Why would y'all do that? The only people that I'm like, sure, like violence is not going to happen and don't get along is Candy and Nene. I still remember Candy sitting in that black dress and Nene sitting in that pink one. And they were yelling next to each other. I'm like, and then no part that I'm like, oh, they about to tussle. No, they not.
Yeah, no, Candy's not putting her hands on anyone.
And neither was Nene. They not going, like, Nene's like, I'm not putting my hands on nobody on camera.
Yeah. Unless it's like Kim.
Unless
she just loses it.
Right. And it's like, she's like, they're like, oh, you hit Kim? She's like, was it on camera? Right. No, it technically wasn't.
No. Well, but so it's just so interesting to me how everybody has sort of dealt with that situation, and
I was like
the sides that they've taken, and I think also people have like their hard cross lines, like and for me that's a hard line like for me. Sexual assault, things like that. And it's always interesting to me when that's not a hard line for everyone. Like, even with like the whole alleged, well, I guess it's not alleged because he's in jail, with the whole R. Kelly thing, the fact that people still defend that, like,
and they're doing the TikTok challenge with his song, because I was like, why does that voice sound familiar? And then watching everybody do this TikTok video with his sound, and I'm like, so nobody's going like, yeah, fuck the TikTok trend. Like, F that. F and then trend. Because I was like,
you're the bad guy if you're like, oh, well, I can't listen to his music. They're like,
I can't
separate the music from the art. Okay, you can separate like the music, you can separate the art from the artist when the art isn't driven from life events. Like, his music is about his life.
Allegedly inspired by young women. It's
by like, these young girls who are abusing. Like, how do you listen to the songs and think, oh, this is so romantic, when he was writing about a young child? Like, I can't. It's a line for me.
I had trouble listening to that first Aaliyah album, and I can't get past Back and Forth. I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Let's start on a sophomore album and work there. Okay. Yeah. Let's start there because I can't.
And then people act like, oh, well, he's a musical genius. Like, being a musical genius does not trump the bad things that you have done. Like, you can be a musical genius and still be a horrible person. And I'd rather X you out and put in someone who is a musical genius who's also good. Like, don't reward bad behavior. I hate rewarding bad behavior. Please don't. Like, it is what it is. He had great songs, but now we know he's an awful person. So
it's like, no, I'm like, because I was like, why does that voice sound familiar? And then someone said, it's an R. Kelly song. I'm like, what fucking R. Kelly song is this?
Why is it R. Kelly?
Yeah. And why are we doing the sound? I'm like, I thought, hey, Spotify, I thought y'all got rid of his ass.
Yeah. It's sad. I find it sad because they also don't think about all the victims that impacts, not just his victims, but victims in general who have to listen to people like praising this man who they know has done this horrible thing. And it's basically saying like, we don't care. We don't care.
Right. Because they're Black women. Like the majority of them are Black women. Like, we don't care. I'm like, well, they don't need protection.
Oh, the torch earth, if it had been, first of all, if it had been white girls, it wouldn't have gone on that long. Let's
oh, absolutely not.
Let's start there. If R. Kelly had been, and not to say that abuse doesn't go on long within white culture, because it does. Hello, Jeffrey Epstein. So it definitely
that's the thing with Bill Cosby. They're like, oh, y'all just trying to take this Black man down.
Echelon. Right. It has to be at like the highest echelon for it to go on that long. And
you gotta be a Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby.
You gotta be a Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
You cannot be like a Aries Spears. You gotta be Bill Cosby. And the thing about it, it was like the worst kept secret, because I still remember I was like, everybody knows about Bill Cosby.
Right.
I was like, how?
And it was like a joke, like,
because she's like, he said it in his stand-up. I'm like, what?
Yeah, did you watch the documentary? We have veered so far off topic.
Yes,
but
I did watch it, and I
was like shocked.
And people were mad, because wasn't it Questlove's documentary?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, because they were mad at him, like, how could you do this? He's like, because he fucking did it. Like, what you mean?
Yeah. And that's the thing, is like, oh, we don't need to bring down Black people. First of all, you can cheer Black people on, kind of like what we were saying. You can cheer Black people on. So I'm all about the Black people. I'm all about lifting our people up. But I'm not about to lift you up when you do something wrong and pretend like it's okay. It's not okay. Yeah. It's not. You should be in jail, just like if someone who is white does the crime, they should be in jail. I'm not saying like, oh, let them off. Just because other people have been punished severely when they shouldn't have doesn't mean that you shouldn't be punished when you do something wrong. Like, their punishment doesn't let you off the hook. That's not how it works.
Correct.
In my books, anyways.
Correct.
Speaking of, though, severe lies and punishments, the whole Vickie and Brooks thing from Orange County, and talking about lines not to cross, lying about cancer.
Why?
About cancer. I mean, for me, it is a step down from the Phaedra one, because like that one was like a lie about other people and assault, and they just lied about themselves with the Brooks and Vickie thing. But it's still like, come on.
I was just so, the thing about it is that I find it hilarious that it came from Megan, someone who doesn't really know Vickie that well, and not from Brianna or her son, whose name I just literally forgot, or Tamra. None of them were questioning this, but Megan King Edmonds was able to question it. And I'm sitting here like, there's a lot of HIPAA going around for me, because I'm like, how did you get this information? And it's like, who broke HIPAA law to give this to you?
Right.
Because it's like, there's a lot of like, wait a minute.
But it makes sense that it wouldn't be anyone that was close to her questioning it, because
I mean, that's true.
Why would you question it? Like, I wouldn't even dream of questioning someone.
Because Vickie is happy. And I'm like, I could see Brooks as slimy, but it also was kind of like, why would you lie about, why would you fake cancer? Vickie is a sugar mama, okay? So it's like, it don't even matter. You ain't had to do all that shit. It's like, why would you do something like that?
Some people, I think, can't help themselves. Like,
Vickie's like, don't get mad at me. I didn't lie about cancer. I'm like, Victoria, no one said that you did, but I think it's very interesting that you are mad at everybody else for pointing everything out. Like, we can see the emperor has no clothes on, Victoria. That's why we're trying to tell you, like, no, girl, what is going on right now?
Oh, I think some people just like to lean, like, some people care so much about how they're perceived and how things are looked at that they lean in to.
How can I be with someone who would lie about having cancer?
Right. Instead of just admitting, like, crap, I got duped. And the thing is, the longer you hang on, you're still going to end up in the same place. You just look worse because you've held on to it. You know, like I think about like Luann with her cheating husband. Like, we all knew, Luann. We all knew.
Girl, clear as day. I'm like,
like, you should just let it go. But and like the Vickie and Brooks thing, it's like, we all knew, like, you, instead of trying to get mad at everyone else, you should have been like, damn, he got me too. And then
and that's what she should have did. It's like, because ma'am, you literally jumped down Tamara's throat and was screaming at the top of her lungs in your face. I swear I'd have punched her right in her face. I'm like, I know one thing, you better get the fuck out of my face. It's like, why are you I was like, she this close, and screaming, you're supposed to be my friend. Get the fuck out of my face.
Right. Yeah. Friends don't scream in each other's faces like that.
Me, I would be good on Vickie. I really would be. It's like if y'all can work through it, it's like fine. But it was kind of like, Vickie, you've been on this show way too long to be taking this stance on things.
Yeah.
It's like, Vickie, this man is lying and I don't understand why. It's like, why? I'm like, are you actually sick? I'm like, if you're sick, then what is it? Also, why are you lying? It was like, it's the dumbest thing to lie about. I'm like, why would you lie about this? And Vickie, why are you trying to defend it? Because you like, it makes me look bad. I'm like, yeah, you defending it makes you look a little bit worse.
Yep. Agreed. Well, there's always going to be liars and they always keep things interesting. It's always interesting seeing the lie unravel and unfold. I'll admit sometimes I'm too trusting. I give people the benefits of the doubt. So usually when the lie comes out, I'm like, oh, really? But
and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with like people like it's like I don't really know these people. We're watching these people for like 45 minutes on the show and we may see like maybe 10-15 minutes of their life. I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and go like, I don't care if Brooks is allegedly lying about her age. Girl, I don't care. I don't care how many nose jobs Melissa Gorga's got. I'm like, girl, what do you? Like, I kind of don't care about that thing. I'm like, I don't care. Like, she's lying about her age. So
who cares?
He's still fine. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I agree. And I just expect them to have some level of lying on reality because at the end of the day, people
TV.
just
somebody lying.
Yeah, reality TV is full of lies, and people care. Like we're saying, so much about how they're perceived that they'll do anything. I just think it's interesting that people haven't yet realized the more you tightly try to control how you're perceived, the worse you come across. Because it's very clear to us when you're not being authentic. Correct. And it's definitely always better when they're being authentic themselves, and we can enjoy them that way.
And lying by omission is still lying. It's
still lying. Oh, that's a whole nother lying by omission. Why is, and I'm not even going to, because we'll be here for another hour if I get on my soapbox about how much that annoys me. But I can't thank you enough for joining me to talk about these liars.
Thank you so much for having me. I love talking to you. I love talking to you.
Yes, I love these topics. I love talking to you and getting your opinion. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, again, thank you so much for letting me come here. It's always a good time. You can find the Mocha Minutes Podcast wherever you find podcasts, except for SoundCloud. SoundCloud is for rappers and DJs, folks. It is not for podcasts, so don't look for me there. But Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, same handle, Mocha Minutes. Also, if you'd like to buy me a coffee, buymeacoffee.com/Mocha Minutes. Would love to buy coffee. Me and Kendrick are like, buy him beer, buy me coffee.
Nice. Love it. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for watching and listening, whichever way you're taking this in. I hope you'll come back for another episode. Bye.
Bye.
Baby, you just kick your feet up while I kick back. I roll one with you by my side.